Hello and welcome to the 3inMidfield podcast, a podcast where three friends who all had dreams of being professional footballers dashed away as children when they all discovered food, have their say on the Premier League. Yes, it's me, Kojo, again, hosting. Cahil will join us very soon. I've just done his intro and I will say I have done it very, very well. I'm proud of myself. I am going to introduce our three guests over here. There will be one more that will be joining us. And just as I say that, look who's arrived. Hello.
Yo, how you guys doing?
Yo, what's good?
What's that?
Good, man.
What's good? What's good?
D-man, long time, bro.
Long time, man. You good?
I'm good.
Good. So, yeah, I was just doing the intro. So, let me introduce Nishal. How you doing, sir?
I'm very well, thanks. Good to be finally on. Love the work you guys are doing. So I'm looking forward to today.
Awesome. Thank you and for joining us. D-man, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. Good to be back, man. Thanks for the invite. Good to go.
Come on, man. Steve Bruce's
Oh,
army.
Let's call him SB, yeah? SB.
SB. Oh, yeah. He's got that affectionate tag name like Mac Fred. Patrick, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. What's going on, people? It's Patrick Tyron, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, see the P. When you see the P, it represents T. Let's go.
I like that. KO, my brother, co-host, how you doing, sir?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think it was live, so that's why I shouted like that. It was mad.
Oh!
I only just got the live right now. Crap, in it. I did not clock, but it is what it is. I'm here. I'm good.
We're here. We're Gucci. You know what? I've said the topic as well, so we'll just co-host. We'll do the thing as usual, wouldn't it? But should we start with the big game, the big game, which was Chelsea defeating City at the Etihad 2-1. Very controversial game. Political decisions given, not given. But Nishal, Chelsea fan first. Let's go straight to you directly. How are you feeling after that win? Considering you've got them in the final also. How much is a confidence builder for you guys heading into that final?
We already had massive confidence coming in off a Real Madrid game. That was one of our biggest wins of the season and one of our best European results in years. So we came in the perfect way. Was it a game we knew we could win? Maybe not. Difficult game to play, never easy at the Etihad against City. And first off, we weren't amazing. We were all right in the first 40 minutes, crumbled in the final 5 minutes of the first half, lucky to not go 2-0 down. But that second half performance was vintage Chelsea, really going for it, dominating Man City, getting that equaliser, and then the last minute winner. It wasn't a beautiful goal, wasn't a vintage or a perfect win, but the fact that we can come to Manchester City, who are about to win the league, come away with a perfect win, dominate them, and control the game so well is perfect viewing before the Champions League final. That's now 2 wins in 2 for Thomas Tuchel against Pep Guardiola, and it makes you think, if we can do it in the Premier League, if we can do it in the FA Cup, why can't we do it in the Champions League final? So there's a lot of confidence around Chelsea right now. How can you not be? And, a lot of excitement and anticipation for the Champions League final, wherever that will be. Did
you feel like that in the first half? I feel like in the first half, City were the better side. They could have run away with it 2-0 at half time if it wasn't for a
disaster.
a little Panonka blip of sorts. But during that first, when you went into the second half, did you feel like was there a change? Because I guess under Lampard, when you were behind in games, you didn't have that confidence that you can come back into games. With Tuchel now, has that changed? Has that belief now grown back that in any game whatsoever, you believe Chelsea can win?
Absolutely, and part of it is mentality, the mentality in the players and the manager, but also it's about man management and game management. I always say this about Lampard, but what he lacked was being able to manage a game, change tactically, make the right decisions, and also be flexible in the game. We never saw that under Lampard, and that's what cost him. Whereas Tuchel, we've seen him change formations, change players, make really bold decisions, and especially like this against Manchester City as well, changing the tactics and going more direct and more wide to attack Man City. So seeing that was really positive and really encouraging. And, we try not to draw parallels between Lampard and Tuchel, but naturally you will, especially when you think back to when we played City under Lampard, smashed 3-1, really, really poor defeat. We were very bad in that game. Bed just rolled over. And worst of all, when we went 1-0 down in that game, we were already out of it. We never looked like we were going to get back into it. We didn't look like we even had a chance. And it just kept coming for City. Whereas when that happened on Saturday, yes, they could have doubled their lead. We got away with it. thanks to a poor penalty from Aguero. But the fact that we were 1-0 down, we woke up in the second half, and we came back and took full control of the game is a real testament to what Tuchel has done at Chelsea and what we can look forward to in the next season and beyond.
Can I just say quickly, I know how you pronounce it, Thomas. I'm going to say Tuchel but I know you're a proper fan, so I know. Is that how you actually say his name?
Yeah, so I'm Swiss, so I speak German, so it's Thomas Tuchel, like that. You got something in your throat, so Tuchel.
Tuchel.
When you have phlegm in your throat, it's like that sounds.
I'm gonna say his name. You're gonna say it right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Culture.
D-man. Pep is your homie, your G. You know,
My
your
guy.
number one guy. But did you go into this game thinking as well that this could be just one of those games where they just sort of walk through Chelsea, considering they have also been in top form? They disposed of PSG as if they're just a small team. And what was your overall thought on that game? Was the Aguero moment the changing of the game?
Well, before the game, I predicted City would win. Yeah, because I thought, to wrap up the title and then move on from there. When I saw the lineup now, in my head, I thought he's not paying enough respect to Chelsea at this moment. They both rotated, don't get me wrong, but the players that he played is like the semi-final that he played in the FA Cup. Yeah, and the formation that he played was something like 1 in midfield and 4 up front or something silly like that. So he was blatantly using it as an experiment. Yeah, I think he used it as just to put the feelers out on Chelsea basically. But given the first half, when City were the better team, and like I said, had Aguero not played around with that Panonka nonsense and scored the penalty, it would have been a different story. They would have probably ran away with the game. But credit to Chelsea, they did come back. They were the better team in the second half. I was disappointed with how City performed in the second half. I expected a lot better from them, given what was on the line for them in the title. I know it was a bigger game for Chelsea, but to wrap up the title early as possible, I think I would expect them to put in a better performance. So I was surprised that the performance levels dipped in the second half, given how they started in the first half, to be fair. Maybe the penalty change thing, they must give Chelsea some sort of confidence and impetus for the second half. But City wasn't really troubling Chelsea in the second half that they should have done. And I thought that a winner would come, to be honest. So I put a bet on Chelsea to win anyway. So when a girl missed the penalty, I put a bet on Chelsea to win anyway. So it's not surprising. It didn't surprise me at the end of the day.
Fair enough. Before I ask you another question, I want to introduce your co-hosts on the D&D Footy Factory, Mr. Double D. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Apologies, had to run some errands. So apologies for being late, but I'm here, guys. Hope you are all well.
We're all good, man. We're all good. I mean, discussing the big game on the weekend, which was City versus Chelsea, rather, at the Etihad. I'll ask Michelle this quickly, and then I'll go to D-Man after. Michelle, top 4 now. Are you feeling confident? Is that you think you're now going to just get enough points to just see it through, and then it'll be between maybe Leicester and the others?
I'm very confident we'll get top 4, but it's not over. We've got 3 more games. We have to win all of them realistically, because while West Ham, Leicester, Liverpool, the likes of them, while they may not collect maximum points, if we drop a single point, we're in jeopardy of losing that spot. So we need to go out with every game, get the win, get all the points. If we can beat Arsenal, we could have it secured by the end of a week, which would be the perfect situation. As long as we have when we beat Arsenal, hopefully. But you never know, honestly. I do think we'll get top 4. I was quite confident from the start of the season. Before Lampard was sacked, after Lampard was sacked, I still thought we would get top 4. We are nearly there. We've just got to stay focused, stay concentrated on the task in hand, and we'll be fine. And whoever finishes 4th with us, I don't mind. As long as we make it, that's all good for me.
All right. D-Man, he's saying Chelsea are looking quite comfortable. Well, not comfortable, but he's saying that I think they will get the points required to certify their top 4 space.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Who's joining them then?
Arsenal.
I always said Leicester would make the 4th spot. I kind of changed my mind at the weekend, but I'm gonna revert back. I think they'll beat Tottenham, and I think if we go to the final game, I don't think they'll let it slip. So yeah, I'm gonna say Leicester to finish 4th.
Patrick?
Oh, by the way.
Oh, sorry, go on. Sorry, D-Man.
Back to the Chelsea game.
Yeah.
I don't think that has any bearing on the final. I still think Chelsea Well, I think Pep's got a plan for them. I think he's felt them out now because Chelsea have played the Chelsea way both games. City haven't. I think City's got something in store for them. So I think it's going to be not a comfortable win, but I think they'll do it.
Yeah, I don't know if you lot saw Pep's comments afterwards where he said like basically Tuchel's played his hand and now he knows his tactics. So
with Pep,
isn't that bluffing though? Don't you think that's bluffing?
No, but when Pep talks with conviction, normally, he gets the job done.
Yeah.
Like he spoke with conviction against PSG. I said to Dubs already, when they beat Liverpool at the end of last season, he said we're going to win the league next season. Yeah, he's serious about his thing. Trust me, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Trust me.
Well, with that, Patrick, people are starting to try and accuse Pep of being one-dimensional. Essentially, so I saw Dima's face just there. I'll explain. So essentially, what they're saying is, look, we know Pep's style. We know how he's adapted it. He hasn't been the same from Barca to Bayern. It looked the same, but there's always been a difference in one way or another. And he's got a way playing at City. But they're saying that City play that one way and do not know how to adapt in another way. Do you feel Chelsea have maybe caught an upper hand on City in that regard?
It may seem that Tuchel has Pep's number, but I don't think Pep is one-dimensional. I think anyone that says that isn't really watching football because Pep will experiment. He'll play a false nine. Like yesterday, like D-Man was saying, he basically played with 4 attackers, 1 midfielder. He does mix it up. You never know what formation or even what lineup he's going to play. So there's no way he's one-dimensional. And even if you look at the Man City team now as to how they play when they won the league 2 years ago, it's a completely different unit. And a completely different different formation, and not that reliant on Kevin De Bruyne as they used to be. They're chipping in goals from all over. They obviously haven't played with a striker all season, so it's a completely different team. So to say that Pep is one-dimensional, I'm not sure. People that really watch the game wouldn't say that because you can see it and how Pep will even switch things up as the game is developing, depending on what's happening. In regards to Chelsea, I do think Chelsea are pretty much the only team that I could say comfortably right now could beat Man City. But do I think they beat them in the final? I don't think so. I think City will win. I don't.
I'm probably spoken so well about Chelsea. I'm saying City winning. I'm not having this.
Nisha's boycotting the thing now. So I've heard enough.
I've got it now, actually. Got to leave early.
I do think, don't get me wrong, I really respect Chelsea and I respect what Tuchel's done. And I didn't think he would come in and have such a positive or solid impact as quickly as he's done. But I just think Man City are too strong. And I think Man City will win. I think Man City will win, man.
All right, Double D, I'm going to ask you this then.
Mm-hmm.
Man for man, with both teams having their strongest men on field. Because with Chelsea, I do have this worry that apart from N'Golo Kante, there's no one that I can look in that team and say that they're a certified world-class player, but they have a lot of major talents in that team. With City, how many world-class players do you think they have?
Edison obviously is a world-class keeper.
You're gonna let that slide, Kojo. You're gonna let that slide, Kojo. That's mad. All right then. Cool.
Is it?
I don't think so, but it is what it is.
Okay. I'd say Edison's a world-class keeper. I hear you though, because I know you're going to start talking about the fact that they will talk about his passes and this and that and how good he is with his feet rather than actual goalkeeping. But I think it's a bit early for Diaz, but Diaz he's already in the quality bracket, so we'll be saying it soon.
I'm just screaming it, so I'll back you on that one.
Too early, right? Obviously, De Bruyne. Who else would I say is generally bona fide world class in that team? Because then it's just a lot of quality there. Cancelo quality, Rodri quality, Walker. But even still, I get a Kyle Walker a lot. It's just a lot of quality. I'm trying to think who's bona fide world class.
De Bruyne, surely.
But he's aged. I said De Bruyne.
I said De Bruyne.
Yeah, he did.
But who, sorry?
Okay.
Aguero
And Fernandinho before, This right now, I'm not sure. And even this season, Pep's booked Fernandinho for certain games because he knows with the way he reads the game. And then, of course, as me and Dean always talk about, the tactical fouling that for certain games he puts him in and he gets the job done. But
What about Gundogan?
he's having a world-class season. Gundogan.
This is one of the opinions. De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Diaz.
So yeah, I think at the moment, yeah, as the United way said, I think at the moment
Mahrez.
those are what you could say. Mahrez is having a world-class season also. But so on form at the moment, yeah, they're world-class. But in terms of the overall picture, only outright, I'm definitely going with De Bruyne and to coach's discretion to Ederson too.
Ask one question. Would you say that there's more than 10 world-class players in the Prem?
Yeah,
For me, no.
yeah, I'd say so.
For me, no. I don't think so.
Ooh,
I don't think so.
I don't know. If you sit down and go through, I'm not sure. You know,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think there is. I don't think it's like before when you had that.
Does any
Is Alisson a world-class goalkeeper?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is Ederson?
No.
Ooh, so you got,
They both are. I think they both.
I think they both are
I think
personally.
there's a split already.
I think they both. I think they both are.
Fair.
So then defenders, we got Diaz,
And Van Dijk.
Yes, with Van Dijk.
Thiago Silva.
And even at the moment, because Van Dijk's injured, you can't really. And that's probably it in terms of who you. That's probably it in terms of who you're taking. You know, in terms of centre backs.
Nishad, did you say who you say?
Thiago Silva. He's got to be there, surely.
No.
Nah.
He was. He was.
Not anymore.
Thiago Silva was. I'm not sure about now, but he was. I think
If
Depends
it's
what we go-
Fernandinho, then yeah, Silva.
But if we're going off current form or if we're going off overall stats, because that changes the question completely.
yeah, that's what I was trying to go on. I was trying to go on current. That's why I never bought Fernandinho. That's why I never bought Fernandinho, because obviously if we're going on his career, before we had that madness with Milan with the when he got banned and whatnot, Thiago Silva was just out of control at centre half.
He doesn't fit Liverpool system. He doesn't fit their system, man. They don't really play with a midfielder that is on the ball, silky.
No, defender. The defender, Thiago
Oh
Silva.
no, we're talking about defender. Thiago
sorry.
Silva.
Not Alcantara. Don't worry. We'll get there.
Apologies.
You listening,
Don't
Patrick?
worry.
Sorry, my bad.
All right, then what? Fullbacks then? As Patrick said, fullbacks.
Yeah, so would we still put Robertson in the world-class bracket?
No. If we're going
Yeah.
If it's on current form,
If we're going off
would
form,
be.
no. If we're going off
Before,
form,
no,
yes.
but overall, yeah, cool.
Yeah, for what he's done over the last couple, you have to say yeah.
Well, yeah.
Kieran Tierney's up there, right?
Look how man ducked out. Look how he dropped that in Cahill.
Trent should be there, no? We say Trent.
No,
yeah,
no.
exactly. Because then,
No.
I'm formed.
You see, this is what we get. If you go back a year, Trent is making it. No,
100.
Yeah, of course.
He's
I
the
don't
right
agree,
man.
maybe.
If you can't defend, I can't put you down. Sorry,
Bro.
But wait, hold on.
I wouldn't say
Hold on.
I wouldn't say he can't defend. Easily, he's a far more better attacker. I wouldn't say he can't defend. You know,
Hold on. This
I
is
think that's hyperbole, to be honest.
Is Luke Shaw world-class, lads?
no.
He's had a brilliant. He's had a brilliant season. But I'm sure
I
he's not
wouldn't
sure
say
he's
he's
not
world-class.
world-class.
I think he's been the best left-back this season in the Prem, but he's not
Yeah,
world-class.
yes.
Yeah. All right, so
He's not
centre midfield then. Let's go centre midfield. That can be DM, CM, attacking midfielder, however you want to do it.
Kante without a doubt.
Kante.
Or Conte. Conte is he's Boulder fan.
Yeah, Kante without a doubt.
De Bruyne.
Yeah.
De Bruyne,
De Bruyne.
This
Yeah.
season?
Yeah.
This season, yeah.
I think
What
he's
do you-
been good this season. I don't think he's been the best of the best, but he's
Not
quality.
been
This is weird. This is why when you say world class, you can't really go off form because form is temporary.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, but
De Bruyne has not had a world class season this year.
No, he
I
hasn't.
Compared to what he's done before, he's not had a world class season this year.
That's
He's
fair.
been good. He's been good, but he's not been world
He's a
class.
world-class player.
If we are saying that, then obviously form is temporary, cast is permanent. We're going overall. Then though obviously the last 18 months he's not performed at the same level, we still overall for what he's done in the Premier League have to consider Aspilicueta, because at one stage he was the best defender in the league. Chelsea were playing this man right back 1 week, left back 1 week, then put him in the 3, then put him in the 2 and whatnot.
And
He
he's
was
dealt
doing
with it.
madness.
Yeah.
He was dealt with it. He was doing madness. You get me? So That's why I'm just trying to go full before it gets proper complex.
Okay, so Kante, all right, in terms of midfielders, Kante, De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Do we put Pogba there?
No.
Nah, for me, he's top class, but he's not world. He's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it. He's not consistent enough for me. Like there's games where he completely runs it, and you can see how talented. I mean, of course he's talented, but you can see how good he is. And there's
He's
other
been
games
consistent for 2 years now, man.
Yes,
he's starting to build a consistency.
Maybe
He's starting to build a consistency for me. And so I agree with Cahill. In the last 2 years, he's actually been really good. But again, what happens with United is his performances equals United success, and that's nonsense. That's
Exactly. I think you can put Pogba there. I think you put Pogba there.
Bruno, I mean, numbers wise, yeah.
Numbers wise, yes.
He's shining. But performances overall,
I know.
No.
Bruno's a weird one, man, because like you said, the numbers are crazy. But sometimes when you watch him, he loses the ball like 20 times. He's like he's not in the game at all.
I'll pose that question to you, Patrick. For players for the so-called creative players, isn't that sort of what you would expect from them in the sense that they're going to try and take on more players or try and create more chances, and they will naturally give the ball away?
Don't get me wrong. It's great that he's attempting. The thing I rate about Bruno is that he doesn't go hiding. Even if he's having a bad game, he'll still get on the ball and still try something, which you've got to, take your hat off, because a lot of guys, if they're not playing well, they will hide. They won't want the ball. They won't demand it. So in that respect, I give it to him. But there are games when he's not in the game at all, and it is quite poor. So, but for me, I mean, I'd put him in that bracket. I would.
Are we forgetting Fabinho?
No.
I almost did, because he's played 90% of the season as a bloody centre back. But yeah, in his natural position, the guy is cold.
Yeah, to be fair, I did forget him because he's been playing at centre back. But yeah, as a DM, he's crazy. He's
all right, so we'll go wingers quickly. What about wingers? Anyone?
I'll put Son in there.
World class.
Is it?
No, I'm having it.
I didn't realize how split your fan base was about Son. Some of your fans think that he's just streaky and nowhere near a world class player.
I think when you're looking at wingers,
I was shocked at that.
There's not that many wingers that are better than Son. If you're looking at him, what he actually brings to the table, his finishing is mental. Like he can finish with every, left foot, right foot, every finish.
Yeah, but he's not world class.
Boy, I'd put him in that bracket personally. I don't see that many wingers that are better than him.
You go
in terms of Premier League. In terms of Premier League, yes. In terms of Europe, no. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, that's what I was there. That's what I was thinking. Because then also poses the question: there can be, you can make the statement that yes, there aren't many wingers better than him. But if we go back to the goalkeepers, we're split here on Ederson, but there aren't many goalkeepers that are better than Ederson.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, this is why it's great, because we all have different opinions, isn't it? And that it's fair. I hear what you lot are saying. I would put him in there, but it's fair. I can't. If you guys are giving me strong arguments as to why he's not, then fair enough.
If we're going back to goalkeepers, I'm going to say put Leno in there. I don't think there's many people.
This guy.
That's how you know Cahill's a performing arts guys, because he's timely. It's impeccable.
And it's
absolutely impeccable.
It's the straight face for me as well. The straight face.
Don't worry, Jerry. We'll get there. Don't worry.
We're doing it right now, bro.
Don't worry.
Hey, Jerry's ready. Jerry's got popcorn ready. He's ready for it.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, United way, I do not agree with this whatsoever. And I've told you, man. No chance.
He's a very good player. He's a very good player. And to be fair, I love watching him play, but he's not world class.
His decision making is horrible. That's he picks the ball up sometimes, breezes past someone, has options to the left and right, and then runs into a cul-de-sac and tries to shoot.
Yeah.
Shaw's open, Wan-Bissaka's open, pass the ball, repost. But don't get twisted. He's had lots of brilliant moments, so I understand the guys. He scored some big goals at some big times, but in terms of overall the course of the season, not a world-class player yet for me.
And that's why I agree with Double D, because for the stat lovers, he's got 20 goals, 15 assists this season. So you look at that return, you're like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
But when you look at his decision making, you're like, whoa, I've always said about him. For me, it's very simple. I think he's a good player, potentially great. But if his decision making goes up that level, he can be a great player, potentially top or world class, depending on how he goes. So I don't know.
I feel like because he's been around for so long, everybody just forgets that he's still 23, 24.
Yeah.
So he's got loads of time to start to actually develop.
sure.
He started when he was 18 and he bagged on his debut against Arsenal. There you go, Joe. Don't worry about it. But
You know what?
yeah, give him time, man. He's not even reached his peak yet.
Yeah, he's
Because
peak.
peak is another word that's just evolving.
I hear
Especially
you.
football.
Yeah.
He is a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player, but he's not world class yet. No way.
Yeah. And finally, strikers.
Yeah.
Apart from Kane, I'm lost.
Harry Kane done.
I'm lost.
Yeah, Harry Kane.
Yeah, it's just
Oba?
I don't know who.
Exactly.
Who?
Yeah.
Do you know what I was going to say, actually?
Not for me.
What's that?
While we're having this discussion, right, we're going through world-class players. Out of the big six, do Arsenal genuinely have any world-class players? Because I don't think they do.
What are you doing?
Not one.
Are they-
Not one.
Can you name one world-class player at Arsenal Football Club?
I can tell you one player that's going to be a world-class centre-back as soon as Arteta leaves. William Saliba. That's it. There you go. End of discussion. Man.
I think their closest player to
Quality on
world
that.
class is Tierney. He's not world class, but he's the closest in terms of
Yeah, the
overall
closest,
consistency, quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's young as well. He's not even near
He's
20.
like
He's about 23 or 24 as well. Yeah.
He's got years to even develop even more. All right, shall we go on to the next game? D-Man, this is for you.
So did Mane and Salah get mentioned in the forwards?
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot. Yeah.
Patrick said Son, and that threw us all. So nice. Obviously, Mane and Salah. Obviously, Mane and Salah.
On form, Mane has been
Raheem
Mane
Sterling.
having a
Yeah,
poor season.
I feel like his name's gone under the
Yeah,
spotlight
he's had a
because-
stink of a season. That's why.
Yeah.
yeah, but that's one. Mane's had a stink of a season. You still would
Yeah,
say
exactly. Yeah, that's why I forgot about them too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Newcastle. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. I was.
You're gonna thank us, D-Man. You're gonna thank us. We gave you our best midfielder.
You know what? It's actually mad though when you look at it. Like you lot gave him away, and he's doing bits.
He scored more goals. He scored more goals from centre mid than any of Arsenal's centre mids.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
What's going on?
Kept him for the sake of a Ceballos, you know. Yeah. So D-Man, I'm not gonna lie. I was shocked by this result. Not that I did.
No one saw this coming.
Exactly. Is that one of those ones? Yeah, of course you can go and win the game out of nowhere, but 4-0 before they got two consolations. I mean, like, no, it's your club.
And they could-
Explain how you felt.
And if it wasn't for Schmeichel, coach, it could have been 5 or 6 before Leicester even got on the score sheet. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Don't forget, the Africa made some good saves as well. He made some good
Yeah,
saves.
true. Yeah, Kelechi
but-
and Tillemans, isn't it?
You know what? Given the form that we was in, I know we had a slip up against Arsenal and that, but I think that's like 2 defeats in 10 games. Yeah, so you have to give Steve Bruce credit for the form that we picked up of late. Coinciding with our players coming back from injury, say Maximin and Wilson, and obviously you got the Joe Willock as well. So to score 4 goals away from home, let alone against Leicester, is something that you never see for Newcastle anyway. But we fully deserved it. This wasn't even a lucky result. From the moment there was the first whistle win, we was all over them. I know they lost Jonathan Evans in the warm up and that, which didn't
Threw
help.
them off. Yeah.
There's nothing that I can say that Leicester really. I wasn't really, once we went 1-0 up, I wasn't scared that we lose the game. I was just very surprised because actually I popped away for about 50 minutes. I come back and it was 4-0. And Wilson just put the ball in the back of the net. But you have to give Steve Bruce credit, yes. But he's the problem. He's the reason why we're in this position in the first place. Yeah, because from the beginning of the season, when these players were fit, he wasn't playing them together. Yeah, he was leaving Almiron on the bench or St. Maximin on the bench, not playing them together. He's the only one I knew that could turn Almiron into a frown. The guy's forever smiling. Yeah, he was frowning for about 3 months. Yeah, remember, we got clapped twice by Brighton. People forget that we got clapped convincingly by Brighton on 2 occasions. That's unforgivable. Brighton are up. But credit where it's due. We beat Leicester, beat West Ham, and before when we were winning games, we never deserved to win those games. In the first half of the season, we got lucky. All those games that we won, bar one against Burnley, I think it was.
Yeah, you had that the 3-1. You had that Burnley. Yeah.
But these victories now we fully deserve. It's right on time and said we'll be safe now. We're safe. We're practically safe. I think we'll be safe come end of tonight when Fulham drop points, I reckon. But the problem is Steve Bruce is going to be here next season. Nothing's going to change. There's going to be no takeover. Ashley's going to be there. Steve Bruce is going to be there. And it's typical Newcastle that they put in these great performances, can enjoy the Friday, and then Steve Bruce comes out this afternoon slating the Newcastle fans. Yeah.
Wow, again.
Yeah.
What did he say? I missed all of that.
He said stuff like, "Oh, I knew it was a high pressure job," and he basically said Newcastle fans are unreasonable, and so they need to get over the fact that they're not going to be spending big money like there was an Alan Shearer back in the day, whatever. For the last 15 years, we've been a bottom half club. We need to get used to it, basically.
Wow. Whoa.
Wow. Your own manager.
Yeah, he come on Talk Sport. Yeah, they interviewed him on Talk Sport. Yeah, but
He knows how to piss off the fan base, boy. Imagine after a nice win against a good team, then you can't do that. It's crazy.
He reckons that he goes along the street and most people congratulate him about the job he's doing and tell him to keep up the good work and stuff. No, you're lying, bro. but that being said, we've got Callum Wilson. If we can keep him fit and we can keep St. Maximin for next season, and I don't think we're going to get Willock though. I don't think Arsenal see what the man's doing over here. I don't think they're going to sell him. They're not going to sell him. So we're going to have to go out and buy someone, another attacker as well, and shore up that back line and sack our physio, bro, and our back group start, because the amount of injuries that we get week to week now is ridiculous. So I don't know. I'm happy that we're in the league for another season, but I'm not getting too cocky. I tease the Arsenal fans and even the Liverpool fans the fact that we've got the same thing out of the season as they have, which is survive the season. But
oh, go away!
I know.
Go away!
Hey, like I said, thank us, because our guy saved you. Our guy saved your season.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you, Phil. I was actually going to ask you, Phil, like Willock. Why did you loan him out?
Speak to that Spanish man who's the manager of Arsenal Football. I don't know. Look, here's the thing about Willock. It's obvious that he's one of those midfielders that needs free run with the pitch. He needs to get into the box. He needs to start making runs. And if you believe in him, he'll get you the goals. He likes to make late runs into the box, and you saw that with the current goals that he's been scoring at Newcastle. Unfortunately, under Mikel Arteta, he doesn't want that. He doesn't want midfielders running into the box. He wants to play an attacking midfielder. Only now, though, because when he had Ozu, that didn't make sense to have an attacking midfielder in the side, because we were just so good, right? But I don't know. It seems to be working at Newcastle. Seems to have a manager that believes in him, and he's clearly the best midfielder at Newcastle. I think he's one of the best at Arsenal. So, is what it is, man.
Double D, Jamie Vardy. What has happened to our guy? I mean, we discussed it on your show. He's got 13 Premier League goals this season. Yeah. So we're used to him hitting 20 a year, but this season something has been a bit off, especially in regards to his finishing overall. So what's happening? Do you think age is catching up with him, or is it something more?
Father Time might have caught up with him still, but it's commentator's curse from me, because when we were doing our debate about the top 10 Premier League strikers, I said pound for pound, realistically, he should be in there. And since then, I honestly don't know what he's doing. He's missing chances that he wouldn't usually miss. He's still running aggressively, still pressing, and he's assisted a decent amount of goals. But people now, what's funny now is that Kelechi, who no one was really interested in, because he's scoring now, he's drawing attention now. So you would have thought that might give Vardy maybe a yard more space to be able to score. It's not happening. But if he can get back on it and end the season with at least 15, I think they'll still get fourth place. But but it will be crazy to think that last season everything dried up in the second part of the half of the season, but they were obviously ahead. They were punching above their weight earlier on in the season anyway, and then they never had anyone else to pick up the goal scoring slack. Maddison's got 9 league goals this season. Harvey Barnes has got 9, and Kelechi's just powered on to double figures, and they still might not make it. So, as Coach was saying on our show on Saturday, then we would have to look at defensively some of the choices that Rodgers has made recently. But don't get it twisted, they've had a bag of injuries as well, dating back to last season.
Yeah.
But Vardy, I don't know. I really don't know. But to be honest, to still have 13, you have to consider, because normally when someone has a really bad season, they might not even be able to get to 10.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I think he's going to finish the season with a banger. I've got confidence in him.
All right. Well, I'm happy you mentioned the name Rodgers, because me and Cahil feel a certain way about Rodgers. But Nishal, how do you feel about Brendan Rodgers? I mean, last season, they were looking certified top 4, and then there's a serious capitulation towards the end of the season. And it looks like history is repeating itself again. So is this Rodgers' problem? Is it a case of Mourinho's football heritage, or is it?
Why do you have to... How did Mourinho get in there?
I was thinking the same thing.
Football heritage.
Or is he just getting unlucky, and is it to do with the injuries?
I think it's a mix of all of them, because Brendan Rodgers deserves a lot more credit than he's not getting. You have to remember, Leicester in the top 4 race. They're up there. They've been 2nd, 3rd, 4th for the last year and a half now. They're in a good position. Rodgers deserves a lot of credit for where he's brought Leicester, for bringing the best out of Kelechi and Nacho, who for years we just weren't seeing him produce the potential he was capable of. He's been getting the best out of players like Harvey Barnes, James Maddison, Jagla Soyuncu, even Johnny Evans, 35 years old. And look how he's performing right now. So it's a blend, I think, of the capitulation of Rodgers, of the players, maybe a mentality block. But at the end of the day, they're in a really good position now, because when they won the league in 2016, we were thinking, okay, where do they go from now? Can they maintain this? And we saw them drop off a bit, to 10th, 9th, 8th. But they're back up there. They're in those European spots. They had a good run in the Europa League. They're close to getting the Champions League spot. So I think they deserve a lot more credit. And they get, and especially Brendan Rodgers, because without him, under Claude Puel, they were going nowhere. And they were stuck in that position of being a low, languishing, mid-table team with brilliant players capable of competing for Europe. So Brendan Rodgers is a perfect manager. He's been doing well. Yes, he's been unlucky with injuries, but you can make the same argument with every team that however many injuries you have, you need to be ready for anything, and you need to have a squad depth. So that's something they'll build on, bring in some more depth in midfield, maybe in defence as well, from the likes of Ricardo Pereira. But really, they're in a good position. Rodgers deserves a lot more credit than he's getting right now.
Do you think, considering they've been in the top 4 for so long, if they were to finish out of the top 4, which will probably be a Europa League spot, do you think Leicester fans should be at least satisfied with that, or do you think they'll want a bit more just because they've been there twice now and they've been so close?
If they get 5th and lose the FA Cup final, it will be a case of we can be doing more. We're here. We need to be progressing. We need to be at a better stage. I think there'll be like a hint of content almost of being in that position, getting consistent European football, but there'll be that desire to push on, because we saw what they did in the Champions League in 2016-17 quarter-finals. They were fantastic in that campaign. And they know that arguably this is a better team than that title-winning team, player for player. So they know that if they can get back into that position now, they can really build on and get those players. We spoke about before the stream, Soleimani from Lille, who should be coming in the next few months. If they can get those players, really boost up the squad, they can really be pushing and be a solid contender for Champions League football.
All right. I think we should go to the next game now. Now, if you don't mind, I want to do a little bit of action as I imitate the voice of a certain legend known as Giorgino Chiellini. It's the history of the Tottenham. They always do so much and they create so much chance. But
your Italian accent is a shambles, by the way.
I know. What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
At least do Mario. Just attempt Mario, for goodness sake. Right?
Mario.
That's better than what you were.
Like Coach Apollo Cruz's Nigerian accent is better than your.
No. Nothing is as bad as that. And let me tell you why. I'm a Ghanaian doing an Italian accent. He's Nigerian, butchering the Nigerian accent.
And it sounds terrible.
That was cold. That was disrespectful. That was disrespectful.
I'm already getting that disrespect. Oh, look at it. Oh my God. All right, Patrick, over to you. Another devastating defeats, this time at the hands of Leeds United and Marcelo Bielsa, rather. Sorry. Firstly, on that performance, what more can you say? Because at this point, it's becoming a joke.
Yeah, end the season now. That's what I can say. End it right now, man.
Null and void the season. See, Patty's
null and void. An asterisk next to Man City's name, and let's rock and roll next year, because this season has been a shambles for every. Well, Michelle doesn't want to end it because obviously Chelsea are doing bits, but all the rest of us, Jesus Christ, it's bad, isn't it? But yeah, now all jokes aside, obviously Ryan Mason going up against Marco Bielsa, you saw the levels really.
Tactically,
tactically, it was men against boys, and on the pitch physically it was men against boys. You could see how fit Leeds were. They ran and pressed us from the first minute. They bombarded. They overloaded in the midfield. They utilized the basically the depth from the wing backs. They realized that Gareth Bale doesn't track back and Son doesn't either really, and they pretty much overloaded on that. Aurier isn't a great defensive right back, and also he was pushed up. So yeah, they just overloaded from the flanks, and they overran us in the middle. They created a lot of chance. They just basically looked. The thing about Leeds is that player for player, they're not fantastic, but they are a good team and they play team football. And we right now look like a team full of talented individuals. And that's the difference. And when I say talented individuals, I'm talking about our front line, the rest of the guys. Like, I'm being 100% real. The midfield is and the defensively we're shambles. We're not talented defensively. So I think Hugo Lloris is a very underrated goalkeeper.
I think
people don't realize
goalkeeper of the season, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Hugo Lloris is immense. I think he's a great goalkeeper, and people don't really put him in that conversation of top keepers. But if you actually watch him and look at all the saves he pulls out, he's fantastic, and he's kept us in. Even though we got battered 3-1, he kept us in that game. It could have been a lot worse. He pulled off some really good saves. So, to be fair, we need a proper manager to come in. We really need some good centre backs. I'm surprised how Eric Dyer is still playing. I just don't get it. Pochettino played him. I know he. Honestly, I don't get it, guys. I really don't. He played under Pochettino, made hella mistakes. He played under Jose Mourinho, made hella mistakes. He's playing now, and he's making the first goal, the second goal? He could have easily just cleared the ball. He's watching the ball go past him, and then it's mental. It's honestly, he's awful. So, yeah.
What's happened in terms of the actual goals that you lot are conceding as well? At least under Poch, when you lot were getting beat, teams were having to create or do something special. Score. The first goal, Dallas, the rebound. The second goal, I think that might be the one where Dyer got out of position. Bamford's passing the ball into the goal.
Open net.
With no one trying to tackle him. And then the last goal, Jesus Christ, like where?
That's it. But you know what? The last goal confused me because I thought he was way offside, and then it literally they said, "Oh, he's onside," and they didn't show no replays, no nothing. I just didn't get it how he was onside. Like,
so they showed one after the game, and he was actually went onside. The last,
was he?
I can't remember who the last person was pushed out. Rafinha was onside, and he just come on the pitch. So what? Didn't they notice that there was a substitute on? I didn't know what was going on.
Defensively, we're shocking. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Who's coaching these guys? Are they really that bad that they can't learn and pick up things? How is Eric Dyer conceding the same goal every flipping game? It's crazy.
Sorry, but this is the question I wanted to ask, because I'll ask D-Man first. I want to get the outside views before we go to the Spurs fans for this. But Pochettino, now Mourinho, and Ryan Mason for a couple of to the end of the season for a couple of games recently. Sorry, is this a case of them not being coached, or is it just the players are just not good? Because you're going through Twitter and Spurs fans are, on one hand, they need a proper coach. Mourinho wasn't a proper coach. Ryan Mason's obviously inexperienced, so they need maybe like a Allegri or Ten Hag, for example, or Tunis are being thrown about.
They need to keep away from Allegri.
You've got a Putman.
They need to keep away from Allegri.
Is that who you want? Yeah.
You're damn right, man.
Still
Arteta's going nowhere. Arteta's set.
And I pray that Ryan Mason goes nowhere either.
I mean, Scott Helper he's kind of right, to be fair. Not the
Yeah,
way
he's consistent in being shit. Yeah, you're right.
What question was asking me? But yeah, sorry. On the other side, you've got them saying, well, apart from Kane, because they even split on Son. Apart from Kane, the rest of the team are just poor. So, Demon, which side is it?
It's a bit of both, but I think you have to look at the squad itself. We spoke, me and Dubs on our show years ago, and saying, pound for pound, Spurs at one point had the best arguably the best first 11 in the Premier League.
Yeah, the most balanced, isn't it? The most balanced.
But then back up, there was no one really there, and no one's going to come in and play second fiddle to Kane, etc., stuff like that. But I think that squad has run its course. I think Pochettino probably got the best out of them that he could. They reached the Champions League final. Yeah. They were close to winning the league at one point. Now, I think the whole squad needs freshening up. Jose couldn't. To me, it's no surprise that Jose did what he did. My only surprise was that he could have won a trophy with them and they sacked him before the League Cup final, which I think is a nod anyway. But moving forward, get rid of the dead wood. But the thing is, get rid of the dead wood, you're going to lose Harry Kane anyway. So you're going to have a complete overhaul, because apart from Kane and arguably Son, obviously, and the keeper, where's the quality? If you look at that team, can Spurs fans really look at that squad and say they should be comfortably challenging for top 4? I don't think so. Definitely not challenging for the title. But if they was to get top 4, that's an amazing season for them based on what they've got. Because I can't name. I'm talking about 7 out of 10 players out there, rated 7 out of 10. Who can you say other than Kane? Kane's a 9 or 10, whatever. Son's an 8 or 9. Who else you got? Really and truly, apart from the keeper.
Maybe Ndombele when he's playing well. I don't think he's
but he's. I've got a lot of questions about him also. All right, Nishal, actually, we'll come to you then. So you obviously had Mourinho previously on two spells, but the second spell obviously ended the worst way. When he went to Spurs, did you understand, looking at him and knowing how he was, did you understand why he went there? That could you having Mourinho for, I think 4 or 5 years overall in his time at Chelsea, could you look at the move to Tottenham and say that makes sense for him? Or did you think, no, this is just going to be another disaster?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't like him going to Spurs, and I had it was mixed feelings against him because I have a lot of respect for what he did at Chelsea. He's the greatest manager in our history. But when you see your manager go to our trials, it's the worst thing. So I hated him for quite a while. And to be fair, maybe he went as a challenge. Maybe the options were limited. But we saw his record of having won a trophy at every team. And we were thinking one of these records is going to break either Tottenham's trophy drought, which is now 13 years, or Mourinho's perfect record. 13 years.
Stop it, I know.
It's crazy. 13 years.
Stop rubbing it in, man. Jesus.
I'm just saying. Premier League, FA Cup, Champions League, League Cup, Community Shield, Europa League.
How many years was that? How many years?
13. There we go. Honestly, but I don't understand why they sacked Mourinho before the final.
Just to nip in there. Arsenal's trophy drought was 12. Spurs is 13. So they beat us. Well done. You beat us. Well done.
You beat us on something.
Exactly.
Allow it.
Honestly speaking, on a real one though, Mourinho wasn't a problem. He was he was a great manager for them, and he should have been so much better. But like you said, the squad is not good enough. Apart from Kane, Lloris, and Son, the fact we find it so hard to even name others. And Ndombele, maybe, but he's not at that level. Lo Celso could be there, but he's not. And there's so many maybe players.
You know what I would put? I know you guys haven't mentioned him, but I put Højbjerg as a good player.
Yeah,
I know.
The
thing with Højbjerg is that right now you're not seeing the best of him because we've overused him. He's pretty much played every game, and he's played every minute of every game. So he's ran into the ground. He never gets subbed off. Pretty much plays whenever, and even when he's not played, we've had to bring him in because defensively, in terms of the middle, we're not good enough. So I think Højbjerg's been really good, but it's just that right now he's exhausted. So sorry to interject. I just thought I'd add him to the list because I think he's a good player and he deserves to be on there.
Spot on, honestly.
Yeah, Double D. So considering all of that now that we've spoken about with Spurs, what kind of caliber of manager do they need to bring in? Is it a certain style? Is it someone that's just going to look at the squad and say, listen, you guys are just not the quality required, and just be serious about it? Or what do you think they need to do to make a change? Because your team was actually, you weren't in a similar scenario, because even though you were bad, you still won Champions League at some point. But at least
they had Roy Hodgson, bro. They were.
I know.
Cahill, do not mention that name in Liverpool in the same sentence. Nightmares. Jesus Christ.
That's what I was going to make, because
did you see what he did to Joe Cole? Jesus Lord.
But let's say you had like your Konteskis, your Kyrgios's, all these kind of players. But eventually you brought in a manager who changed everything within the span of 3 years, and you went from final to winner. So when you look at Spurs, what kind of caliber of manager do you think they need to really change this around? I'm
conflicted with this, and I'm arguing a lot with Tottenham fans. Because I know so many, they've got a clubhouse group. I was almost going to come into the clubhouse group and spam the thing with nonsense, but then I allowed it, because some of them are sticking their nose up at certain managers, but it's not always necessarily a name. Me and D talk frequently, because his cousin's a Brighton season ticket holder, about Graham Potter, because though points-wise, Brighton are not doing anything different. In fact, they're actually doing worse than they were under Chris Hughton, but they are much more attractive to watch. And the first game they played under Potter, they were away at Watford, and they were pinging the ball about. I thought I was watching a Spanish team, like the way how intricate they were in their passing. So Potter at a better club, you never know. Some people, though his style's much more agricultural, have made the same case for Sean Dyche. And you have to look at it. Every season, people say, Burnley are going to go down. And it never happens. And he's got some decent players, but he's not got anybody great. And he does a job every single season. So it makes you wonder, could he, with a better set of players, be able to do something? But I don't think Tottenham should be able to turn their nose up at him, because it's all good wanting to want the Allegris and whatnot, these ones there. But if it's the players that are spent, maybe you need somebody to come in and be concise in regards to the players that they're going to bring in, and not necessarily splash out. But so there's varying names. You could get the big name, you could get an Allegri or whatever. Sarri's been linked to them now also as well. Or you could I don't want any of these big names, to be honest. I want a coach. Like I was saying to you, Kojo, we've had quite a few conversations on this, and I wouldn't turn my nose up at Graham Potter. I do think he's a good manager, and there's similarities to him and Pochettino before we picked up Pochettino, in regards to, yes, Southampton were doing a bit better, but they had a better caliber of player. But if you look at how Graham Potter sets up Brighton, in terms of, like you said, the intricate football, the passing, the use of the wing backs, basically the way they attack and flood the opposition's box, the way they defend. Defensively, they're solid as a unit. If Brighton had better finishers, they would be doing so much better than what they are right now. Of course.
So he's a good manager, and he's actually a good coach as well. A lot of the players under his tenure have become better players. So I know he's not a star-studded name. I know a lot of Spurs fans would turn their noses up at him, considering there's other managers out there with bigger CVs. But I think Graham Potter was a good manager. But to be fair, I wanted Nagelsmann. He was my number one choice. Obviously, he's gone to Bayern. Then I said I want Ten Hag. He signed a contract extension. There's a lot of rumors flying out that even though he signed the extension, it was triggered by Ajax, and that he could still be up for going in the summer if, obviously, you put the money up. I don't know how true that is. I also look at Ralf Rangnick. I think he's a really good manager. A lot of the German coaches learned a lot from him, so he'd be a good shout. And then, obviously, Brendan Rodgers is one that I would love to have. But the reality is, would he leave Leicester in terms of the project that he's building right there and what he's got going on to come to Tottenham? People are saying that there's an argument for it, because even Arsenal fans are saying at the end of the day, if Rodgers is actually ambitious in his own self, he should leave Leicester and go to Arsenal or Tottenham, because they're a bigger club with, in terms of the stature and what they offer, is bigger than Leicester. So there's arguments for and against it. But I think if Leicester get Champions League football, forget it. He's not going. But if they don't get Champions League football again, after being so close, maybe Rodgers will look at it and say, you know what? I've done all I can do here. Maybe I need to try something new.
Patty, what do you think about Nuno, because he's another name that's popped up.
I don't know, man.
You leave him out of Tottenham's mouth. Nuno and Allegri. There are.
You're feeling Nuno. I'm not really. I think Nuno's okay. I don't really rate him though. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one.
It's one of those things where
I think Sarri's a good choice.
I think Sarri's a very good choice as well.
Yeah.
Maybe they can beat Newcastle then if they get him.
Oh, whoa!
This guy, full of beans, yeah, full of confidence.
I feel like with the Nuno argument, it's kind of similar to Graham Potter. I mean, obviously, when he came up, he had a fantastic season. Had a fantastic second season. Third season, it's been a bit shaky. But then again, you have to look at it. His best wing back got sold in Doherty to Tottenham. I'm slow my words to Tottenham. Obviously, it hasn't worked out for Spurs, but he was very good at Wolves. And then I think midfielders Morgan Gibbs White's been injured for a long time. He came back.
Don't forget they sold Jota to Liverpool as well.
That's what I was going to say. The two people that scored their goals
have to rely on 18 to score them goals. So I feel like he's a good manager that needs a push and needs to get a bigger club in order to expand and evolve as a manager. But arms off him, he's ours.
Shout out to Scott, by the way. Shout out to Scott with that comment. I'm fully behind you, and I really agree. I think Levy's holding our club back, and whilst he's in charge, a lot of managers will look at basically our track record and our past history and what we've done with managers, and it's going to put them off the job. So the protest is this Saturday, Saturday the 15th. I'm there, loud and proud, man. Levy out, Ian Ashley out.
Hey, don't break into the stadium like certain people.
Nah, you know what?
There's two arguments to this. There's one, don't break into the stadium, and two, bring enough people so that you could possibly break into the stadium.
No live bands this time around. No guitars as well. We put that in the tweets. No guitars, no bands. You know.
Patty's getting his face painted and all sorts.
All right, we're gonna stay in North London. So, Cahil, good evening.
I know the show's ready for this as well.
I'm just listening.
Hey, Jerry, come true. You know what? Whilst you guys talk, this kid's not watching. I'm gonna message him as well.
You're disrespectful.
But Cahil, well, he has scored a free kick finally.
Shut your mouth, man. How was that the first thing out your mouth? Get out of here. Get out of here, man. You're ridiculous.
Oh, that was a good free kick, though, to be fair.
It was a good free kick. I like it.
Patrick, did you see that all? It was pretty much saying, put it in the top right corner. And he went, all right, I'll put it in the top right corner. I'm not giving him credit for that. Screw
Nah, you know, he still had to place it there. Do you know what I mean? Even though they gave it to him.
Screw William. I don't care. Nah. Nishal, you want him back? You want him back, Nishal?
37 games. 37 games it took him to score his first goal. I'm just saying that. He scored on his debut for us. It took him 37 games. That's all I'm saying.
I'm done.
But you know what? You finally put the relegation record on Allardyce's name. He's
finally.
Well, what's wrong?
You finished him off, Kojo.
You're being disrespectful. You're actually being disrespectful. I will not stand for it, man. I will not stand for it.
All right. Serious question. Serious question. Obviously, you bounced back from obviously the midweek disaster.
Be disrespectful again. But wait, what? Who cares?
What do you expect?
All right,
I'll be back. My guy started William and I bounced back.
A yellow submarine.
All right. No, serious question. So, we're heading to the end of the season. It's quite evident that Arsenal will not get any European football. But in terms of where you need to start the rebuild, because at some point it's going to have to happen, where do you begin? Because we know what happened with the contract offers. We know what Arteta's doing or not doing, rather. And I know how you feel about him, so let's try and leave him out of this for a while.
I don't want to.
Oh, okay. Then in that case, please go ahead, fire. Where do you start from? And I guess I know where we're starting from.
That's where we start. That's where we genuinely start. Get rid of him. He's pointless. He's useless. He's inept. He can't like. You know what's actually annoying? The changes that every single Arsenal fan were asking him to make, he made against West Brom. Why? To rub salt in the wound? Like, what are you doing, man? Everybody and their mum could see that you needed to start Saka at left back because he hasn't been scoring. So that means he's pretty much doing nothing as an attacking presence in the Arsenal side. So put him at left back. He can whip a few nice balls in, which he does. He's got a very good cross on him, and it worked out because he's set up somebody on the weekend. I think he did.
Yeah, he did, and he should have got another assist as well. He whipped a lovely ball in, and
he set up Smith Rowe as well.
And Martinelli both missed the ball.
So he was fantastic at left back, and he just didn't play him. I don't even want to talk about yesterday because the game was pointless. The season's done. Everything has to come everything goes down to Thursday, and his absolute one goal. We needed one goal, and he set up to counter. Is he sick? Is he mad? It's like, come on, man. I wouldn't even do that.
Genuine question though, because you want Arteta gone really badly. Who are you actually realistically going to get in on a reel?
I don't know. Here's the thing.
There you go. You've got no better options. But no one's going to want to come to Arsenal.
No, but here's the thing. Just because nobody wants to come doesn't mean we should keep him. If we keep him, we're going down. We're not going down in terms of relegation, but we're just going to keep spiraling out of control until Arsenal is no longer the team that is recognised. Everybody for years now, everybody's been saying, "Oh, Arsenal aren't in the top 4 anymore, so nobody's going to go to them." But we've been attracting a very good amount of players, a very top quality players. They haven't been top quality at Arsenal, but they are still big names. Aubameyang, obviously, that's top quality in terms of what he's produced, not this season. Partey, last season, everybody wanted him. Not been great this season. But then again, I feel like that stems from the manager. That stems from Arteta. Everybody likes the keywords. No spine, no energy, no heart, no desire. All these keywords, where do they stem from? They stem from the manager. Because if you look at Chelsea,
this comment from Jack has killed me. Kojo, why did you have to put that up right then?
I'm so sorry. I was going on a good run.
Because of Arsenal, we know who Graham Potter is, because when he was like flipping Osterson, they beat them in the flipping Europa League.
They did. But anyway, back to my point before you once again disrespectfully interrupt. Chelsea were in the same position as Arsenal in terms of manager. Obviously, like Frank Lampard, you could use the same keywords to describe what Chelsea were doing under Lampard. Tuchel comes in. I mean, not everybody. I personally didn't think he would do well. Eating my words drastically. You got a Champions League final, FA Cup final in the top 4. All that has stemmed from the changes and the plan that this manager's brought in. It's been a year and a half, or maybe long because of COVID. What's Arteta's plan? What is his plan? Who's his best 11? See? Nobody can actually answer.
It's real talk.
It's real talk. Yeah. So I feel like in terms of Arsenal, we still have a name to us. I'm like it's in the mud, but there is still managers out there that can bring it back. I think if we are serious, I don't know actually.
Steven Gerrard?
Don't want at Rangers. I'm not gonna lie, but then again, if I say that, I should generally be thinking about Brendan Rodgers. I don't know. Maybe give him more time at Rangers.
This is probably a better question. Would Steven Gerrard go to Arsenal or Tottenham?
That's what I was going to say. Because
I think he'd go to Arsenal. I think he'd go to Arsenal.
I don't think he would. I think he'll wait until Jurgen Klopp's about to go and then see what's going on.
Maybe.
Or you go from Arsenal and Tottenham to Liverpool afterwards. Like
exactly.
Natural progression.
That's a good
natural progression. Disrespectful again, man. Jesus Christ.
Stepping stone.
You didn't ask us a stepping stone. If he got Arsenal back in the top 4 and he wanted to take a team that wants to win titles, then goes to Liverpool, screw it. I'd understand that. But then again, Eddie Howe, Jerry, stop it, please.
I usually I didn't drop Eddie Howe's name because I knew what the reaction would be. Do not forget, with a very average squad to counter-attack in football, he had Bournemouth playing a few seasons ago. and he's learned a lot. He's going.
Double D. Look at Bournemouth's defense. Look at Arsenal's defense. Do you seriously think that Eddie Howe, with that defense, could manage the team to defend? No. So don't bring Eddie Howe into the picture, please. Don't bring him. I think we could attract an Allegri because nobody's gone after him. He's been a free agent for God knows how long, and nobody.
Apparently, he's going to go back to Juve now because Pirlo's trying to have these men finishing their worst positions.
I know.
Wait, we're gonna get to them. Don't you worry. They've got a special appearance now in the Premier League podcast. That's how you know. We're getting to them.
I think Allegri's a possibility. I've always wanted Nuno. I've always wanted Nuno. So if we're serious, go get him.
He's no one going to make any form of attempt to try and get Frank Rijkaard out of retirement.
I don't think he wants to. He'd be back in football by now if that was the case. But anyway, I'm done with Arsenal. Screw Arsenal. The season's finished.
All right, we'll run through these two teams quickly. Liverpool, Double D, a nice comfortable win at home.
You think that was comfortable? My blood pressure says
all right, but you've won and you have been counted out of the top 4 race by a lot of people, but you're practically still in the East. Not even practically, you're definitely still in the race.
Coach, we don't deserve to be in the Champions League, but we could squeeze in because of the calendar. Because all these teams are playing against each other. I'm relying on Man City to at least hold Chelsea to a draw. You got beat, and Chelsea deserved it as well. I'm sitting there having to go, yay, when Calvert-Lewin scored yesterday. And I thought, how embarrassing is that? Because that's Everton are actually now only 2 points behind us. So if we don't beat Man United, then they're going to come over. So it's like, this is ridiculous. But Coach, it was far from comfortable because Southampton play like us, with the counter pressing, which is why they call Hassan Hootle Baby Klopp or Diet Klopp or whatever. And we're letting Nathan Tella have his way against our midfield. And I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, what is this? Alisson was man of the match.
Yeah, I told you.
Alisson was the man of the match. He almost gave them a goal. Like, I'm sitting there. So, but don't get twisted. We played better this season and lost. We were strolling against Leicester. Made dumb foul by Thiago, they lost 3-1. We played better than that and lost games this season, but I still don't think we'll make it because even though the other teams will continue to drop points, I cannot trust us to take all our points. After we play Man United, the rest of the season's against teams that play deep, low block teams, and that's what we struggle to create against, especially with Henderson out because of tempo. At least earlier on, Coach, it was the injuries why we were doing badly. Since February, it's been on the forwards, and I couldn't even go back to January because our first home defeat, Origi's 1-on-1 with the keeper, with Nick Pope, and misses.
Yeah,
it's just like they've put so much effort into the last few seasons. They're just stuff now. They're just stuff, and Gini's contract's not getting sorted out. Players are getting injured. We brought Tsimikas in. He's been out for most of the season. Ben Davies is an enigma. I don't see what the point of getting him in when he's been fit. He's not started. I just can't this season, man. As I said, I'm with Patty. Null and void the season.
Yeah, null and void. Null and void.
Someone can still get COVID. Think about the people.
Think about the NHS. Think about the NHS.
Do you think you will get to lift the trophy in front of your fans? I think that'd be shameless if that happens.
I don't know what's going on. It doesn't even because the close proximity of the season. It felt like I celebrated the title win for one day and then the new season started. You know, two Ben Davies that I usually. But just just finish the season, man, and start again. Because the way we're moving, we could end up in the Europa Conference League, not even the Europa League, the Conference League. The way we're moving at the moment, that's just poor.
We'll go to the next game quickly. Man United won, but their season's pretty much done. The Europa League final, they'll be second place. They got top 4 confirmed because West Ham fumbled the bag against Everton. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I certified top 4, they're good. They're Gucci. Cavani signed a new contract. Nisha, I'll ask you quickly. Is that a good thing for Man United? And does that mean they will not go for another striker this summer?
Definitely a good thing. Edinson Cavani's been brilliant this season. Do they need to go for a striker? Maybe, maybe not. I feel like they can keep developing Mason Greenwood as a striker. You know, they've got other wide options. They've got Marcus Rashford out wide. They've got different players they can invest in there. Anthony Martial, we've seen he's a really interesting player because he can be brilliant. He can be such a great player, but he's not consistent enough. But I think for now, they don't need to focus on investing in their forwards. They're second. They're in a good position for a reason. They need to invest in their defence. If they're going to spend 100 million, don't spend on a striker. Spend it on a centre-back to partner up with Eric Bailly or something. Spend it on a fullback or a goalkeeper because the attack is not what they need to improve. So Cavani getting in for another year, brilliant, perfect. But focus on improving that defence if they want to take the next step for me.
All right, fair enough. All right, now, before we finish off, we need to talk about Juventus. Like, seriously need to talk about Juventus. Because this capitulation is, quite frankly... I did. And also, I heard today that there is a chance that if they do drop this European Super League thing, they could genuinely be kicked out of Serie A.
They refused to budge because Agnelli knew that this was coming. We have been talking about this weekly on our thing, coach, because obviously Galazzi United. Goliath is in Juventus guy when it comes to Italian teams. I've been in.
He's having a great time, isn't he?
I've been in from the Ruben Sosa Klinsmann days back when I was in primary school. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, they are a mess.
Yeah,
they are an absolute mess. If even the games that they've been winning this season, they haven't even deserved to win.
But Cristiano Ronaldo, the greatest player of all time. Why are they not?
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Have you seen the way Messi's been getting abused because of the no draw with Messi? Everyone was like, "Oh,
football,
he's been very good this season. He's been very, very good this season, Messi."
What happened to them yesterday against Milan? Tomori got his first goal.
Milan. Jeez.
Aldini phoned Tomori, you know, and he said, "I see that Lampard doesn't want to play for Chelsea. Come to Milan." Yeah. One of the greatest defenders, arguably the greatest defenders by our game, could see that Tomori was on job. They've gone there and spanked them 3-0. Do you know how crap Milan have been recently? They were clear at the top and dropped to fourth. No. Juventus are a mess, and that's what happens when you get complacent and you just think, "Oh, we don't need to buy properly in the midfield. We can get in a Ramsey on loan." I'm saying not on loan, sorry, a Ramsey on the free, and Ray Chan on the free.
That worked out for him, doesn't it?
The best midfielder they've brought in the last 5 years is that American guy, Weston McKennie. That's how poor it's been in the midfield. They deserve everything that they're getting, and that's why they want the Super League, because they realise there's going to be a shift of power in Serie A. So they deserve everything.
D-Man, then is Pirlo, I mean, Pirlo's a very inexperienced coach. He got the job straight away in his managerial career. But we look at also the Juventus squad, and for me, it looks unbalanced. For me, it looks aging as well, and the young players are not convincing. Firstly, if they make it into the Europa League, one, does Pirlo get sacked? And number two, does Ronaldo run?
Now.
Yes,
yes, and yes, bro. Let's be real.
But if Ronaldo was to go, where would he go next? Where is his next destination?
PSG.
Yeah, he'll go. And if that don't work, he'll offer his services to Manchester United. He'd offer services to Manchester United. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that's a wise move for Manchester United at this current time because they're fine without him. Yeah. But there's no way at his stage of his career, given what he's achieved in the Champions League, which is his tournament, he's going to be playing Thursday night football. No. He's not selling for that. Yeah. He's got 1, maybe 2 years left at the top. When I say the top, as in a top league, as a top player. But he's not going to waste his time in Europa League. No, not a chance. He's gone. And Juve ain't making no Champions League. So, and if they do, they get kicked out anyway. So no.
How long is he still under contract? How long has he got left in his contract?
Ronaldo, maybe about a year or 2 years left.
Yeah, I think it's another year. Yeah.
You think
regardless, anyway, he's done. He's gone. They can't hold him. They can't hold him if they
Oh,
try.
they hold him, right? They're struggling financially, aren't they?
True.
But Pirlo, why they hide him in the first place? They tried to follow the Barca blueprint from 10 years ago when Pep was manager of the B team and they promoted to the first team. Nah, it's way too big a job for him at this time of his career. Great player. I read his book. He's a very interesting character. He's a good guy, but he was never ready for this job. And unfortunately, I think he's going to pay for it. Like I said, getting slapped by Milan at home is unforgivable. Your time's done. Your time.
3-0 drubbing at home for a team.
Another team, full Serie A.
He's won 2 years in a row. So, like, how can you flop the league, which only you really are the best? It's your league. So how can you flop it? Yeah, it's like Celtic losing the Scottish league to Gerrard and that. You can't be doing them things, bro. You've gone.
Nishal, I'll come to Nishal quickly and then Patrick before we finish off. Nishal, so a Serie A without Juventus, does that help the league actually rebuild itself in the sense of they've had one dominant force, but now maybe you have more teams challenging for the title, or do you think it could damage their reputation considering one of their biggest, if not the biggest team in Italy, might not be in their league anymore?
Well, bear in mind when we say the biggest team, we mean the biggest team today. They've still got football heritage with AC Milan, Inter Milan, Roma, Napoli. They have got the league with the biggest heritage, the most reputation across Europe. So while, the stats of the league would go down because, Juventus favouring the team in European finals, the closest to winning the Champions League in the 21st century, pretty much, it would damage them in
Inter Milan, how dare you, sir?
It's still a strong league. Sorry. Last decade. There we go. It's too long ago. But it's still a good league. And you look at Atalanta as a really good example. But they've come in with Juventus going down as well. They're second now. They're one of the best Italian teams out of nowhere. So reputation wouldn't go down. If anything, it opens it up even more. Inter Milan have won their first league title in about 11, 12 years. Atalanta up there, Roma, Napoli, AC Milan, all competing for the top spots. And now Juventus have stopped winning the league every single year. So if anything, it just makes it more interesting and more entertaining to watch.
Yep. And Patrick, I'll come to you. So you've got AC Milan, you've got Atalanta, you've got Juventus, and you've got Napoli. Are Lazio still part of this? I know they've dropped points recently.
They're Europa League right now. They're challenging the top four.
Well, they're fourth at the moment. Just looking at it, they're on 70 points. Juventus are fifth on 69 points. So as it stands, they're sneaking into that Champions League place.
All right, then in that case, Patrick, I'm going to leave this to you.
Yeah.
Prediction for the final 3 places. Who misses out?
Inter Atalanta. I think it stays as it is.
Yep.
Okay.
I think it stays as it is. I think Juventus miss out.
Juve's last 3 games are Sassuolo away, Inter home,
good up and coming
and Bologna away.
Sassuolo and Inter.
Sassuolo and Inter. Napoli's last games are, where is it? Season. Let's see. They are Udinese, Fiorentina, and Hellas Verona.
Napoli will,
Milan.
We'll take 7 points from that.
Okay.
Milan are Torino, Calgary, Cagliari, and Atalanta.
It's Latin.
And Atalanta's last
game is
game.
tasty. Okay.
Obviously AC. Genoa and Benevento.
It's quite tight, man. It's hard to call, to be fair.
Very tight.
Yeah.
So that top 7 was bunched together until Roma won. I think it was only one out of their last 8 before they won the weekend. It was so tight in there. So the only thing I've seen as tight as that was, you remember last season at a stage in before COVID in the German league, like the top 8, there was like 5 points separating the top 8 in the Bundesliga. It was crazy, and then Bayern pulled away. But it's interesting. But Serie A has been popping for at least the last 3 to 4 years. Me and Coach are obviously doing a European pod for Shoot to Defence, and always the highlight of each show was talking about what was going on in Serie A, man. So so it's good to see it back, because in the 90s they were clear. That league was so clear.
All right. I think we'll end it there. Ronaldo, if you do go into the Europa League, I'm sure number 37 is available at Man United. I'm sure.
This guy twerking, you know.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding.
I don't want him. I don't want him, but at the same time, I know what Woodward's going to be like. What's going to be like, you know, I'm about to leave. This could be my final, you know, for United, and the fans will love it. So, you know, United fans will love it, really and truly. They don't love Ronaldo back at United. I don't know what.
You lot still think he's on loan, mate? When this guy's second Champions League, Man United fans are all over Twitter like he has another trophy. What's going on here?
Not even a lie. For goodness sake, it's not even a lie. All right. So yeah, we're gonna close to that. Everyone's links are in the bio, but Nishal, please first plug yourself, bro.
First of all, great to be on. Really loved it today. Absolute pleasure. If you want to find any of my work, you can follow me on Twitter at @Nishal_SB. You can find all of my work, articles, videos, podcasts on nishalsblog.com.
Nice, wonderful. D-Man, I know you and Double D are part of the same thing, but plug your own individual as well as the podcast I go to Double D after as well.
Yeah, one off of the DD Footy Factory, the radio show on Saturday on Top of FM, 95.5, Saturday 10 to 12. Follow us on the Twitter at DD Footy Factory _. My personal is phenomenal 25 with the F. If you can't spell it, you can't follow me, and it's along the bottom here. Thanks for having me.
No worries, bro. Double D?
Striker. Yeah, same. At Double D, DUBULDEE, and obviously the other part of the D&D Footy Factory, that's at DD Footy Factory _. Saturdays, as D said, 10 a.m. to midday. Also find me, I'm the Premier League football writer for musicfootballfatherhood.com, and I am I write on European football for Football CFB.
Lovely. And we need to get back on the European show, bro. Shoot the defense.
Next year we'll have to find a third guy if Jan can't do it, because I know Jan's had some stuff to sort out and
yeah, no problem.
Get back on it in August.
No problem. Shout out Jan, and shout out Stel as well for Shoot the Defense.
Yeah, Stel.
He's on cloud 150 right now because Ammonia have won.
Yeah, Ammonia won the league.
The league, and he's interviewing all their players. He interviewed the Ghanaian who shouted out.
Yeah, Ernest Asante
as well. You know what I'm saying? Ernest.
Ernest said, he said book Nigerian. He said book Nigerian jollof rice in the bin. So
that's
he's already my favorite. He's already my favorite player now.
Yes. But to all our Nigerian listeners, we do love you. So please continue to follow. Patrick.
Yeah.
Shout yourself up, bro. And view.
Yes. So yeah, Patrick Tyrant, spelled just the regular way. You can catch me on Views TV Official. We record every Sunday at 9:30 p.m. And talking about Stella and Rodri, we had them on yesterday night, so that was a really good show. So you can catch that on YouTube and all our major platforms right now. But yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. Kale, you want to end it?
My mic's messing up, so you end it, bro.
All right, cool. Well, then you can find us right here on YouTube, 3inMidfield Podcast, and of course on Twitter, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts, 3inMidfield. And this has been another episode of 3inMidfield. Peace.